Viewers and subscribers, please subscribe to Saga News TV and give a like and share.
The Independent Commission of Investigation in the COM is processing the scene of a big shooting incident between gunman and police in Clarendon. On National Heroes Day, Monday, October 21, reports suggest that at least 3 alleged gunmen were shot and killed during the armed confrontation. Preliminary reports are that shortly after 2 p.m., the police were traveling along Bustamante Highway when they signaled the driver of a white Toyota Probox motorcar with 5 men on board to stop. The occupants of the vehicle reportedly responded by open gunfire at the police, who returned the fire. A running gun battle then ensued, which reportedly ended an assault drive in Maypen. 2 of the occupants of the vehicle managed to escape, while the occupants were found suffering from gunshot wounds. The police believe the deceased men were wanted for serious crimes. In the parish, more information to come on the development story. The man who was shot and killed by armed thugs on North Street, Kingston on Tuesday has been identified. Police have identified the deceased as Michael Anthony Mitchell, a 23-year-old resident of Blunt Street, and Donald Walters Jr., a 21-year-old man from Dumfries Street, Kingston 14. Reports are that the men were walking along North Street when they were pounced upon by unknown assailant, who opened gunfire, hitting both victims. The attackers then fled from the area. The injured man were later pronounced dead after they were rushed to hospital. Police are still in the area trying to establish a motive for the attack.
Heroes Day. The Pleasant Heights team, along with the Base 1 team, seems fit to come together to have a friendly football competition. At the end of the competition, Base 1 team, they won the first prize. So they were here awaiting their first prize. However, they see it fit to have a spelling bee competition and also a bun eating contest. Whilst they're having fun, a group of men walk up in the crowd and open gunfire at some of the patrons, hitting 7 persons. 5 succumb and 2 still remain in hospital, not serious. Sir, since then, we have imposed a curfew in the Rockfort area, just to contain whatever situation or if any situation should arise, and to prevent any reprisal. So far, my team have been on the ground. We have been getting support from Area 4 and SO, and right across from MID, and they have been inside the area. My team this morning also received information somewhere along in the Rosedale Road area that one person who involved in this situation that occurred yesterday, and they went on an operation, and we had a fatal and a firearm also recovered. We will continue to pursue, sir, and no stone will be left unturned. What is happening here is not something that we're accustomed to in the Kingston Eastern Division, and we're not going to sit back and relax and allow any more of this to take place.
One man said to be a suspect in Rockfort mass shooting was cut down by police during an operation on Tuesday. Police said a day after 7 people were shot, 5 fatally. They received information that one of the shooters was seen in a neighboring community. A search was carried out and the suspect was killed during a reportedly gun battle. In another development, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and members of his team also visited the area where the mass shooting reportedly took place, and a 48-hour curfew has been imposed. While their Holness called on residents to reject the presence of era dance and other criminal elements in their respective communities. Holness said the intention of such dance are to, among other things, undermine the country's security. Further, he described the mass killing as an organized act and said no sympathy should be shown for those responsible. 5 men, including a father and his son, was shot and killed, while 2 other men were wounded at a football match in the community on Monday. 2 of the deceased has been said to known as gangsters and dance, according to police. Holness, in addressing reporters during a tour of the community, said man who styled himself as dance serve no real purpose in the communities. I think more and more Jamaicans are realized that these men who claim to want to protect the communities or call themselves elders or dads or whatever terms, They may choose to describe themselves. They are nothing but criminals, lowlifes, and people whose only intent is to undermine your security, Holiness declared. If such criminals are allowed to undermine the security of the nation and the peace in the community, the Prime Minister said they will ultimately claim their lives.
Express my deep condolences to the family members of those who perished in this very brutal attack where 5 persons were killed. And as I'm looking at one of the cars in which one of the victims perished. The challenge that we have always had in communities like these is that there are persons who claim that they lead the community, and they have some leadership role, and they ascribe to themselves the title Don. And there is a battle for control, for turf, for whatever reason, whether it is to control drugs or scamming or whatever criminal activity, or just an ego issue. And these persons enlist young men and try to get them to carry out their illegal activities. For many communities, the residents see this as just part of normal existence. There is someone there who is claiming to protect the community. There is someone who you can go to for immediate assistance. But I think more and more Jamaicans are realizing that these men who claim to want to protect the communities or call themselves elders or don or dads or whatever term they may choose to describe themselves, they are nothing but criminals, lowlifes, people whose only intent is to undermine your security. And if they are allowed to do so, they will ultimately claim your life. They are of no value to the communities. And it is about time that all communities, all members of the communities realize that these persons serve no good purpose. They organize violence, as we have seen here, that 5 persons were killed at a football match. It was not an impromptu action. It was not an act of passion. It was not something that just happened at the spur of the moment. Someone sat and thought about it. Someone procured the firearms and the bullets. They may even have paid persons to do this. Someone stood as a lookout to say, now is the time. It was an organized activity. And all communities are at peril of this. There must be no succor, no favor, no sympathy for these persons who organize that. They are criminals and they must be seen in that way.